Sir, if you start recording, I will start my class. Okay. Yeah. Today, um, let me share my screen. Yes. In this lecture, we are going to learn, or in the series of the lectures, we are going to learn about uh, uh, supply chain management, and it is the part of the specialization of operations management. And in the operations management, there are different subjects are there, but this subject plays a very significant role in the overall operations management. Actually, supply chain management covers a wide range of parts in the overall production or in the overall operation process. And when we are considering mm, this subject, we need to understand that this subject is important. First thing. Second thing is that there is a lot of scope in this subject for us to understand. The reason is it is covering many of the components in the overall operations management. In order to have this total quality management, the other specialization subject in your thing, manufacturing, maintenance management, all the things will cover. It will start with the supply chain management. In other words, start with in the sense like if overall the chain or overall process is good in overall the operations management, mm, then the output, generally the operations management talks about the input, process and the output, right? About the production and all other things. What is coming inside, it will process, and what will coming outside, it will come as an output. In order to have a final product or the desired product, we need to have or we need to understand what are the links in the process, overall process, and what are the other important aspects that we need to consider. Actually, in your syllabus, these are the things that they have covered. One is introduction to the supply chain, and in that we have this overview, structure, planning, and network design decisions. The introduction to the SCM is given. The important part in the supply chain management or important component in the supply chain management is the logistics management. Logistics. It talks about any product or any good or services, any product or any services, whatever we are using in the overall supply chain management is comes under the logistics. Any movement of the good, any movement in the overall chain comes under the logistics management. In that, what are the drivers of the supply chain? For what are the sourcing in the supply chain? From where you will get the materials, and the complete thing about the logistics management, and a little bit about the transportation in the supply chain management. And after understanding what are the things or components in the overall logistics management system, we will also will talk about the supply chain coordination. In that, supply chain operations, inventory management, performance measures, IT, what is the importance of the information technology in the supply chain management also we are going to see. And the other important aspect here is the strategies, supply chain strategies. In that, strategies issues in supply chain, customer service, benchmarking, restructuring. All the strategical related aspects will be covering in the block 4. And the fifth block talks about the trends. What are the latest aspects people are using these days in that global supply chain perspective? And what are the organizational issues? And what kind of new business models that we can do? And what are the trends, new trends in the supply chain management that we are going to see here? In this block 1 today, uh, we are going to understand about the supply chain management, introduction to the supply chain management. In that, it is the management of the flow of goods and services and includes all processes that transform raw materials into the final product. You need to understand this. Supply chain management talks about the flowing of or the movement of the goods and services and the processes which include conversion of the raw material, starting from where you will get the raw material, or that means we call the terminology that we use here is the sources of the raw material and to the finished product, final product. And it involves the streamlining of business supply side activities, maximizing customer value, competitive advantage in the market, everything, all the basics aspects of the supply chain management will be covered in this definition, right? And one of the important thing is that, or the cautioning thing here is that, if the supply chain overall process from the flow of goods and services to the finishing product, if it is not well managed or well planned, in other words, how it has to, what is the first step, second, third, fourth, fifth, definitely the overall operating expenses will be increased, right? And of course, if the expenses increase, then the profits will decrease, right? And many of the times, even the sales will decrease if the expenses increase. Operation management, the product value will increase. Product value increase. Generally, people may not prefer to buy the expensive product unless there is a high level quality, unless there is other aspects which are satisfied, which are to be satisfied by the customers. And here, companies that buy and sell supplies from each other form a basic supply chain. In doing so, a lead company forms a series of relationships between each company's managers and all the things. Because in order to have a smooth supply, because they need to buy the raw materials, all the raw materials may not be manufactured within our company. They should have a good relationship with that. And the suppliers also plays a very vital role in this. The suppliers, we are going to study about the suppliers and designing supply chain network for each industry is a very essential fact in that products, market, process, technology, cost, external environment, all the factors of the internal environment, and all the evaluation process and everything which will definitely influence or it will affect the overall business thing. That is why in the block 1, as I told, explain the above touch aspects of the supply chain management. Unit 1 in that overview, structure, planning, and the decisions. Let's go into this. In that, we are going to learn quickly about what is supply chain and then other components and the definition. Easy to understand. Now see this. A typical organization. If you start from, if you observe this image, it will start from sources of the suppliers, from where you will get. And ultimately, the final product will reach to the customer. Now, in that, from the supplier, it will come to the manufacturer. From the manufacturer, it will go to the warehouses. And from the warehouses, it will go to the distribution center or warehouses, and then it will reach the customer. Now, what are the other aspects which are included in that? A lot of things. Transportation, right? Transportation cost, material cost, manufacturing cost, and again from another factory to another factory, transportation cost, inventory cost. Even if you buy the products before, or if you buy the raw materials before, or even the finished products or the raw materials or the semi-finished products, whatever, we need to have inventory. And if you manage the inventory, the cost will be included in that. Again, from there to the scrap or to go to the other things, again, it will require the transportation. Everywhere transportation, include everywhere manufacturing cost, include all these aspects will lead to the final customer. Now, manufacturing unit, how the supply chain will be. See, there are three suppliers. It will go to the storage, manufacturing, again storage. It will go to the distribution center, retailer, and the customer. This is the link. Actually, we talk about the manufacturer or storage or inventory. From the inventory, and it will go to the distributor to the retailer to the customer. Until if we want to see the product in the inventory or the storage, it has to be manufactured. Before manufactured, it will sometimes it has to be stored, and from where it will be stored? From the supply chain. From the supply chain. Next, service organization. Same suppliers will be there. Whatever the supplies which are required, it will be there. It will storage and they will provide the service. And I mean, they will create the service. It may be service sectors, maybe a lot of things. Maybe this transportation service sector. It may be the entertainment. It may be education. It may be tourism. A lot of other service sectors are there. Whatever, they also will follow the supply chain. The definition. We see the definition. Yeah, we need to understand this first before going to the definition. Supplier, producer, or in other words, manufacturer, and to the customer. What are the other things will go? Product service flow, cash flow to the supplier, it will go, and for a product, it will go to the producer. Cash flow from the customer, it will go to the producer to the supplier, or whatever. And reverse product flow. Sometimes when it is the product is not liked by the customer, they need to return the product. The return product also, reverse logistics also, we need to consider that maybe we'll see in the next block. Right. And here, the Council of Supply Chain Management defined that the planning and management of all the activities involved in sourcing, procurement, conversion, and all logistics management activities important. It also includes coordination and collaboration with channel partners, which can be suppliers, intermediaries, third-party service providers, and customers. And it's this council, given this definition, we need to look into that. What is that? What they're talking about? Planning of all the activities in sourcing and procurement, converting of the raw materials. Logistics means the movement. Logistics means whatever the product which is moved. It talks about the activities. It is also includes coordination and collaborations with channel partners, which can suppliers, intermediaries, third-party service providers, and the customer. In essence, supply chain management integrates supply and demand management within and across the companies. In the words of Matt Tyrrell, supply chain management is the ability to get closer to the customer. Right? Or this one. Now, let us say there is an example here. Nalco extracts aluminum ore and converts into the aluminum metal. Aluminum metal is shipped to the super tech technologies industries at Bangalore, who convert the aluminum into the cans. Super Such Industries supplies cans to Kalyani breweries. As super tech industries supply directly to Kalyani breweries, it is the first tier supplier in the supply chain. See this directly. There will be 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tiers supply chain in that. As this Supertech is directly giving to the Kalyani breweries company, it is called the 1 tier supplier. Using the same logic, Nalco is the 2nd tier supplier. It is the supplier of a supplier because Nalco extracts the aluminum and it is giving to the Supertech industry. That will be the 2nd tier. And the beer is produced from other raw materials such as barley, hops, yeast, water, and other things. Aluminum cans from Supertech industry use it to contain the product and combined with cartons to produce the packed beverage Kalyani Breweries then sells that packaged beverage to UBSN Limited, the distributor, who in turn sells the finished good to the retailer like DSI, DC, like this. We can see a lot of chain in this. See, it start with Nalco, Nalco to the Supertech, Supertech to the Kalyani. From Kalyani, it will go to the, what is this company name? UBSN, and he is the distributor, and the distributor may give to the retailer like DSI, DC. Are you able to understand this? Why? What is that? The tanks or the aluminum cans is producing the beverages. Some what is that? Beer, I think so. Transport carriers who move the inputs outputs from one place to the next along the supply chain provide the logistics support. Whatever is moved from the starting NALCO till the DSI, DC, a lot of things are flowed from one aspect to the another time. To see that goods and information flow travels both ways. In other words, members in a supply chain are both customers and suppliers with respect to this flows. This is the example. What are the objectives? Of course, if you read this, it will give you a lot of understanding. Maintain customer service, solve suppliers problem, reduction of pre-post product inventory, minimize variances, product quality control, flexible planning, inventory reduction, reduction of warehouse cost. All these are self-explanatory. I don't need to explain. Safeguarding the just-in-time supply. Maybe in the upcoming chapters, we will see what is just-in-time. Acceleration of cash-to-cash cycles, improvement of delivery reliability, reduction of throughput times. Okay, all the things, functions, integration, operation, purchasing, and distribution. Integrating all the things, day-to-day operations, sourcing and purchasing, and the distributions are the major functions of that. This is important question or important topic. This is the framework. The framework, these are the participants, activities, functions, performance measure. Information system, HR, all these people from the above strategy, it will start based on the strategy. There will be supply chain strategy. Then supply chain management plans will go off. And then under the supply chain, all these three processes will be done. Performance measure will be done. And again, for this information system, HR, infrastructure, all the things will support for the flow of from this to this. Very easy to understand, right? Next, reverse supply chain. What is reverse supply chain? Very simple. Forward supply chain means from the supplier to the customer, it will go. From the customer, if it is go back to the supplier or the manufacturer, we call it as a reverse supply chain. It coming in is one thing. Going back again, this is what they will use. Actually, end user will return for what? For reusing or remanufacturing or recycling. Then there are some products which will be sent back for the recycling. Next, value chain. In the value chain, the Porter in 1985 identified linkages and interdependence between suppliers, buyers, intermediaries, and end users. In that, see this Porter's value chain. Very easy to understand. These are the primary activities, support activities will be there. In that, inbound logistics. What is inbound? There is two words in that again. Inbound logistics means the movement of the products or the services within the manufacturing unit is we call it as an inbound, or in other words, manufacturing unit to the customer, we call it as an inbound logistics. What is outbound logistics? From the supplier till it reaches the manufacturer, we call it as an outbound logistics. Once it is entered, the movement of the good in the production area or in the manufacturing company till it reaches to the customer. What are the primary activities in that? Inbound logistics, right? Storing, distribution, what are the things are there? Operations, outbound logistics, marketing, sales. Support activities, there will be procurement, HR will support, technological development will be there. Of course, the infrastructure also should have. This is the value sales system, one after the another. It will add value and finally it will give value to the customer. These are the linkaging and problems of complexity confronting SCM. There will be different problems will be there. Difficulty in managing, lack of coordination, all the things lead to lower profit. complexity, increased number of companies, challenging customer needs, changing customer needs, national and international laws, industry specific, all these things, problems are there in the supply chain. Of course, it will lead to this. And in the supply chain, you need to control all these aspects as well. Now, structure. Let us see what are the components or the structures in the SCM. Very, very important to understand. This is the structure actually. We need to remember that starting point is the supplier or sources of the supplier from where you get. Last one is the customer. Here it will start with the raw material or other components. Here in this hand, please see my hands. Here in this hand, customer, and here the supplier. In this hand, the final product will be there. Let us say I'm using the laptop now. That is the final laptop. Customer, down thing here. You have this. Supplier of the Lenovo. Let us say there will be different suppliers. Let us say Intel chip is there or the processor, which came from another thing. I think they are telling it as a Sony cam or something. From Sony supplied the webcam. And batteries will be supplied by someone. Motherboard will be supplied by someone. Right? Different parts in this laptop will be definitely supported by the different suppliers. Network structure is horizontal, vertical, and company's horizontal structure. So these are the structures. Convergent structure, divergent structure, co-joint structure, and network joint structure. Now, organization structure. How the organization structure will be there. Now see this. On-route organization or default organization, site administration. From there, it will go to the store. Buyer A, supplier management organization. From this, it will go to the supplier A organization. There it will go to the administrator. Buyer into B2B, business to business selling. Site administration, supply chain management organization. OU, supplier hub organization, asset store organization. And it will go to that. Now, integration. What is integration means? Integrating of all the functions to the supply chain is very, very important. What is this? There are 4 things: baseline, functional integration, next internal integration, next what is basic line? At this stage, functional silo is a major problem. Functional silo is the way each function works on its own. Integration. Each department in the same company works together to reduce the cost. Yes. Internal, again, each department is now connected via the same IT infrastructure and other things. External, they can join hands with the same goal to satisfy the customer service and customer requirement. Elements in seamless supply chain. 1. Not a technology product. Segment customer anticipating changes need should be there. Relocate workers to whomever performs best. No activity should be done more than once. The entire process should operate within one database. Trading partners should agree on some metrics. Encourage face-to-face contact. See, these are all the major elements which are there in the seamless supply chain integration. There will be some barriers in that, challenges will be there. And there will be advantages, revenue will increase, cost will control, quality control, company wage will be there. Excessive regulation, needless complication, vulnerable to system collapse. Because sometimes when you integrate everything, you need to regulate excessively because a lot of things will be added to it. Complications. Sometimes it will be easily due to the complicated where resources are shared unnecessarily wasted. That is another important things. Right. Now, what is this supply chain planning? What you will do in this planning part? See, the supply chain planning, what you will do? First, you will plan this overall thing. What you need to plan, you will see inside. Process will be there. When you are planning, there will be some issues. And we will see some underlying levels. looks like a small unit, we'll try to finish as soon as possible. Set of activities, example, purchasing, manufacturing, value distribution, that perform the function of delivering value to the end customer. This is very important. What we are sending, value, your valued customer. Traditionally, all the business units along supply chain have their own objectives, and these are often conflicting. There is no single plan to carry out supply chain activities. This is the thing. There is need for a mechanism through which the execution of various business activities around the supply chain can be planned in an integrated fashion. Now let's go to the meaning of this. Next. These are all self-explanatory topics. I'm skipping them so that we can focus on the important things. Supply chain continuum. What is this? Or in other words, decisions. Acquiring the goods or materials needed to satisfy the product. Business must choose vendors, freight charge, carriers, and possibly warehouse solutions. Inventory storage and handling of goods and services are part of supply chain as well. Marketing and distribution in the product to the customer wraps up the process. Right. There are many decisions made about the products. The best way to understand the various phases of supply chain, how points influence others. So the strategical decisions, tactical and operational decisions. Right. Tactical level elements and decisions. Operational level elements and decisions. You will understand if you are reading this. As a case study, I request you all to go through this. Right. Maybe tomorrow we can continue the other part.